Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I want to talk about some brands that are outdated. They're not very exciting. Perhaps it's even just the packaging. Perhaps their name, their reputation is a little bit outdated. That can kind of do with an upgrade. It doesn't mean that the brand necessarily have bad products or the products are terrible. Wait, does it? They just need to get their act together and think about what they're doing and the direction they could possibly go in. So we are going to look at four brands, and then something that I just want to add that is kind of outdated onto that today. Do consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and comment for the algorithm. It does help. If you don't know what to comment, just comment outdated. Okay, let's start with eyes. I do have foundation on already, so what's happening here? And as always, I would love to hear from you down below in the comments. Let me know if there's a brand that you think is completely outdated, that you think needs a revamp, a reboost, a rebrand. Let me know. Okay, the first brand we're gonna start with is NARS. Now, this was gifted to me, I think, before Christmas last year. I haven't even opened it or anything like that. NARS do send me some stuff occasionally, and I don't often open the products themselves, and they're kind of like instant giveaways. But I am gonna use this. I'm gonna give this a go because this kind of looks like my color palette, so we can definitely try this. What was I saying? NARS back in the day used to kind of give MAC a run for their money. I always remember thinking if NARS just advertised a little bit more or just did something a little bit more exciting, they would be like huge. I mean, they're already huge, let's be real. It's not like they're struggling or anything like that. But I feel like they need a different direction in terms of where they're going. This whole like narcissist thing is a little bit like, maybe let's not do that. You know what I mean? It's like, are you a narcissist? It's like, I'm not. I do also find like the formulas are quite nice. I don't know if there's been some kind of change in the formula, but they're not what they used to be, let's say. I feel like the eyeshadows are quite, like you have to work to build them, whereas before they were like quite pigmented. And the palettes they seem to send out is all kind of the same. It's almost Too Faced-esque with a little bit more color. You know, Too Faced do these really dull releases that are like the ashes of dead people, and they act like it's the most exciting thing they've released this whole year. It gives that kind of energy, that kind of vibe, but with a little bit more depth. You can create some good looks. They're definitely like a wedding brand, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you're having a nice wedding and you need a good like beige palette, or a good like, you know, purples that are like acceptable. They've gone from, in my mind, a brand that were quite exciting, perhaps a little bit outspoken, you know, their names like Orgasm and Touch My Boob and things like that, to, what's this called actually? Endless Nights. Oh, it's like Celebrity almost. Pulp Fiction, Bus Stop, Starlet, Let Loose, Bus Stop. Is that a reference to something? But I feel like it's been a long time since NARS have released something that's really got people talking, being like, oh my god, NARS are doing it again. You know what I mean? They do have their cult favorites, but I feel we're at this like period in time where brands need more than just their cult products now. They need to capture the attention of people, a new audience as well. You know, there was a time frame where people would only buy Orgasm blush. That's the only blush they liked, and that was what they stick to. But people being experimental with makeup, you need to like revamp it up a little bit. Show different people what else you can do. Show different people what else you can get. Show other people what else you have, you know? I think they're a really great classic brand, but the fact that I'm calling them classic, I feel like they should keep themselves a bit more updated, I guess. But I mean, a lot of professionals still use NARS, you know? It's not like they're completely off the books. But I don't feel like it's a brand that people run out and buy like crazy. Like, I think their foundations used to be staples for some people, but people seem to have like a lot of troubles with their foundations. Next up is Benefit. Listen, do we all have our favorite products from Benefit? Yes, this is probably severely out of date, but this is the most perfect bronze shade for me ever. This is the Hula Glow Jumbo size. I think it was a Christmas one. I don't know. I can't get rid of it. It's just such a good bronzer. Benefit for me are outdated in their ultra like, how do I describe it? Like 1950s housewife comic book era advertising. I don't, there's just something about it that makes it seem like children's makeup, like it's made for children, like my first makeup. You know what I mean? Like it's pink, it's baby blue, it's pastel, and I think it can really make people go off brands like that. Like I'm not interested in it. I'm a packaging person. I'm not interested in this whole like I need to look at their website to describe it, because it's just benefit. You know, Professional has this business person on it, business lady on it. Professional Light with the woman with a jetpack on her back. It looks like the whole brand looks like if somebody was taking the piss out of the 1950s. Does that make sense? If somebody was like, you know how, you know, the 1950s was almost too makeup being aimed at women, and it's nice for people to have feminine energy things, you know, like Benefit. I think it's cute, but they could age it up a little bit, I think, is my issue. Actually, I put some of this bronzer through the socket as well. Such a beautiful bronzer. I really, really like it. The people that use them a lot are probably my age, probably millennials who have grown up a little bit now, are looking for more solutions. You know what I mean, to things. Maybe they want to know a little bit more about skin. Maybe they're feeling a little bit more professional in their lives, a little bit more adult in their lives, and they whack out their Benefit products, and it's like, oh, did that come free with a doll? You know what I mean? I do like the branding on their newer blushes. I think that's really, really beautiful, and it goes to this place of like, it's quite chic, it's quite nice, it's quite kitsch still, but it's tastefully done, and it feels a bit more unique while still sticking to that Benefit-esque kind of energy. Okay, next up is By Terry. I think I need to clean this brush. By Terry is, I'm just using a blushy, oh, that's bronzer actually. Brightening liquid blush, no, it's blush. By Terry is a beautiful brand. Their products, they have some of my absolute favorites, but honestly, I think they could be in danger, and I think it's because they really market at older people who might not necessarily appreciate their products anyway. You know what I mean? Not appreciate their products, but be like super into their products anyway. If it was like the go-to for a mature audience, then perhaps, you know, stick with it. Let's go super bronze state. This is their brightening CC liquid blush. When I bought this, I did think it would be a little bit more orange, but it's actually more bronze than anything. And one thing that really gets me about By Terry, if you've never used a By Terry product, they're beautiful, they're stunning, in my opinion, they're worth the money. They can be quite expensive. The smell, it smells like rose all the time. Rose fragrance is not the nicest, it's not to everyone's taste, and my God, does it remind us of old teachers. It really does give like this mature vibe to the brand. The roseness is just like a little bit too much. Also, I think a lot of the packaging seems quite clinical. They do this white and purple, or white and like a deep purple version on black with a lot of their stuff, and it almost seems like science-based, and I think that's extremely outdated. I also think when you use this particular purple, it ages a brand up a little bit. I don't know why. I love purple, but it gives Estee Lauder, it gives Clinique, it gives like a brand, an Estee Lauder brand that is a classic brand against the white. I don't know why that is. Somebody let me know the psychology there of color, but it does make it seem a bit more mature than perhaps they want to be. But the main one for me is the smell, the fragrance. I don't know why you would choose rose like that. It's a very you love it or you hate it fragrance, and I'm someone who isn't fond of it. But yeah, I deal with it because the color, because the product's nice. Next up is Dior. I'm gonna use the Backstage Face and Body Powder. Listen, some products from Dior are amazing, some products from Dior are terrible. This one I quite like, the Face and Body Powder. When I'm not actually wearing like foundation or anything, I'll just whack a bit of this on, but I like to blend it everywhere to make a whole look a little bit more cohesive. I'll go over my bronzer, and then I'll add highlight and stuff like that afterwards. Dior have this old style packaging that I just cannot stand. It gives wholesale on eBay. It gives, we never thought this through. It gives cheap plastic. I don't mind plastic, but it's kind of cheap. I do like this more see-through packaging like this, but some of the older classic products, are just like, I remember when I was really getting into makeup when I was a lot younger, and I would order like eyeshadows, I found like this thing on eBay, and it was like 10 palettes of eyeshadow, and it arrived and it was nothing like the picture, and it was terrible, and it was just this cheap packaging, that like deep blue clasp, and you open it up and it's a disposable eyeshadow applicator and like 4 color eyeshadows in there. And I was like, this is really cheap. And then I remember using Dior, and I was like, this packaging reminds me of that cheap packaging. It does baffle me why they haven't updated the packaging, why it still comes with disposable applicators in this time period. You know what I mean? Dior make amazing products that a lot of people use, but I just wish they would update their visuals, everything like this a little bit more. Again, it's that silver packaging against the plastic, just makes it look cheap for an expensive brand. Okay, last but not least is a component, and this sounds really weird. It's a lipstick component that I see everywhere that people just absolutely need to stop using, right? It's the square. Indie brands use it, like smaller brands use it. I can't stand it. So I have some examples here of not the component, but like the one I hate because I don't actually have any. But for example, you can have a basic square, right? Huda Beauty, basic square, comes off, no magnet, nothing like that, just a normal clip, ombre, a little bit see-through, fun, exciting. This kind of like Art Deco looking clasp. Mina, the color is the lipstick inside. Cute. These black squares are just, like so many brands have them. Are you getting from the same supplier? And I know a lot of brands do anyway, but when it's obvious, it's something, I don't know. And again, it gives that like wholesale, you know, the components actually from AliExpress kind of vibe, when the product is actually probably really, really nice, but it just looks like everyone else's. Okay, well, those are some brands that I think are slightly outdated, perhaps need a little bit of help. I would love to know your opinions down below in the comments. Consider subscribing, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye.